Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about growing melons indoors in hydroponics. So today we are going to answer a few questions that people asked on the last melon video that I released a while back. A lot of the questions are repeated, so I guess those are questions that people are really interested in. So today we are going to answer those questions, and at the same time I'm going to give you a few tips on how to be successful with growing melons. So first off, do you need to pollinate these melons when growing them inside? And that is yes, you do. So I do manual pollination, which I use a brush, and it's very easy to do. So let's go through the process and I will show you exactly how I do it. And it's best if you have a brush around this size. This seems to be sort of like the best tool that I have on hand, and it works great. So it gives me really good success. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and pollinate a flower. Okay, so melon produces two types of flowers. You get the male flower and the female flower. So the male flowers look like this. It's just a flower. It opens pretty wide and there's nothing underneath. It's just a flower like that there, you see? So just a flower and whatever holds the flower. And so that is the male flower. You get a lot of those. And so you usually get these 1 or 2 weeks in advance before the female flowers show up. And the reason for that is that the plant seems to do that so that it can attract the insects and the beneficial insects like the pollinating bees and stuff like that to come and start visiting, and then they will have the female flower. So the insects will get used to coming around, and then the female flower will come out, so that would secure the success. Okay, so you see, as it opens, it looks like that. And so when it opens like this, that means there are pollens in there. And so you get a brush, and so you know, you always get a bunch of them. So we have a few there. So you want the ones that open completely. And so you take your brush right here and you just push it in like that, and you can kind of twist it, and then that will help gather the pollen onto the brush head. And as you can see right there, you see those yellow spots right there? Those are the pollen. And then you will have your female flowers. The female flowers look like this. It has a fruit at the bottom. You see that? That is how you can tell is a female flower. And so at the top is a flower, at the bottom is a fruit. And when it's open fully like this, it is ready to be pollinated. And so in the center, you will see the little stigma there. And so you get your brush and you just brush it like that, gently. And so that's how you carry the pollen over from the male flower to the female flowers. So in the wild, if you grow this outdoors, the bees and the other beneficial insects would do this for you. But inside, you don't have any insects to do that, so you have to do that manually. Okay, so that's how you pollinate. It's very simple. The same thing with other melons that require pollination. You just apply the same process. The brush is the best method indoors. Okay, so the next question is about pruning. How often do you need to prune melons indoors? And the answer to that is very often. So melons can grow vigorously and they would put out shoots all over the place. And you need to prune them. And I think I prune like 50 to 60% of every single plant. Because if you let them go out of control, there's so many things that could go wrong. One is that they will grow everywhere. And when they do that, they will drink a lot of your nutrients, and you're just wasting resources. And the reason I say waste resources is because most of the time the melons can only produce 2 to 3 fruits at the most when you grow them indoors. But you also don't want them to produce more than 3 fruits. And the reason for that is the more fruits they have, the smaller the fruits will be. So professionally, people would only allow one plant, one fruit. So 1 fruit per plant. So they'll pluck off everything, they'll trim off all of the side vines, and any new fruits that form, they would chop it off, and they would get the bigger melons that way. And growing melons indoors, the best method is grow more melons, more melon vines, more melon plants. More plants if you want more fruits. So you can't get more fruits on one vine. You always want one fruit per vine. So that means you have to grow a bunch of melon vines. So if you watch professional people, they grow this in a greenhouse. They have like hundreds and hundreds of plants, and then they'll just allow one fruit per plant. So that's how it's done, and it produces larger fruits. And so here I know that my melons are going to be small if I allow too much, because I've done it many times, and the exact things happen every single time. The more fruits I allow, the smaller the fruits are. And so here I wanted to show you guys, so I left a bunch of them. So I have that fruit right there, and behind it I have another fruit right there, and then this fruit right here, and then that fruit right there, and then this one in the back here, and then the rest I trimmed it all off already. I cut all the side vines off. Anything that would continue to grow, I cut it off as soon as the fruit become pollinated. So anytime the fruit become pollinated, I chopped off the tip of the growing vine so that it can stop the plant from growing. And if you don't do that, they're just gonna grow everywhere. They drain the resources, and you're not gonna get the fruit anyway. So right now, this plant here, I have 2 fruits. That's all I'm gonna allow. I'm gonna cut that off, and then anything from above right here, I'll cut those off as well. And same thing with the back right here. I will only allow 2 fruits right there, that one, and then everything else I'm gonna cut off. So same with this. And so here is another plant that I let grow wild without chopping anything, and you will see the difference. So here is the plant that I just let it grow all over the place. It just grows wild. I mean, you see that? Vines all over the place. They're gonna grow more and more and more. They're just gonna keep growing, and they're just gonna drink all of my nutrients, and they're not gonna give me a lot of fruits anyway, because they just cannot produce that many fruits indoors. I think I have 1 fruit right there, you see that? And then a few more forming. So I'm gonna let this vine grow to see how many fruits I can get. But I've done this before, and it didn't produce much. It's just make me change nutrients so often, because it drinks so much, because the vines would just not stop growing. And eventually it'll cover up all this tent here, and then they run out of space, and then they will also like cause diseases, because when the vines are all over the place, there's not enough circulation, and then the leaves will be sitting on top of each other like this. And so sometimes the plant would try to release water, and then there's leaves on top of it. It couldn't release water, so then bacteria would land on the leaf somehow, and then it'll get diseases because there's not enough airflow. So when you grow watermelons, melons, cantaloupes, whatever indoors, you want to trim the excess vines that so that you can allow airflow to get through, and that will greatly help reduce the chances of these plants getting diseases. But also, if you potentially could get some pests, so the more vines you have, the more difficult it is to treat the issues. And again, they also drink so much because they just grow so much. And so if you don't want to change nutrients all the time, do it the way the profession would do it. Just allow 1 to 2 fruits per vine. Grow more vines if you want more, and trim as much as you can. Once the fruits have been pollinated, then trim the rest off, because the more fruits there are, the plants will try to divide resources, and then you get small fruits. Okay, and so the next question is, what kind of lighting am I using? So in one tent, I'm using the Spider Farmer SF4000. This is one of my favorite lights, because I've used a bunch in the past, and I gave all those away, and I kept this one because it is a very powerful setup. It works great for everything that I do. I grow peppers, tomatoes, like vegetables and all that stuff. This is way more than enough for vegetables, but watermelons, cantaloupes, Japanese melon, which are these right here, they do love the light. So you need to give them plenty of light and good intensity. And it does have the full spectrum, so it does allow fruiting and vegetative. So that is one of my light. And in the other tent, this one here is, I'm using the Spectra LED, the Phaser 660. And this thing is just a monster. It just covered the entire tent. And I've done reviews on both of these lights in the past, and if you guys search the channel, you will see. And so those are the lights that I'm using. Okay, so the next question is, what kind of nutrients am I using? So when I grow melons, I use combination of the Dynagrow. So in its vegetative stage, I use the Grow series until the plants begin to bloom. And so once the plants begin to bloom, I will switch over to the Bloom series, which is the Dyna Bloom. And then on top of that, I would supplement CalMag. So when the plants are fruiting, it will give you the best chance to keep the fruits and reduce chances of rot and all that stuff. And so the mixture is very easy. It's 5 milliliter per gallon. And so I mix this first into the water and then mix this afterwards. And so once they start to bloom, CalMag and Bloom is what I use. And then I haven't changed the nutrients yet. I basically keep adding nutrients, which is a bad thing. You should always change it for fresh nutrients, but I'm kind of a bit lazy at the time because I've been doing so much work and traveling. So yeah, I just add nutrients, and the entire life of the plants right now, it has been, I added once the nutrients dropped to half, and that's pretty much it so far. So yeah, that is the questions, guys. If you have more, please list the questions, and then maybe I'll make an update video answering all that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.